That was pretty damn cool though, to see that. It was amazing.
Okay, I've turned it.
Is this what I have?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you can pay your listeners.
All right.
Good evening. It is Tuesday, November 15th, 2022 at 6 p.m. and I will call this special meeting of the Millwood City Council to order. Tonight because it is a special meeting, it is a fixed agenda. What we have is what we have. And so at this time, I will lead in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Christina, would you call roll, please?
Mayor Freeman,
Present.
Councilmember Beasy, Councilmember Kohler,
Present.
Councilmember Van Hees,
Present.
Councilmember Sander,
Present.
Councilmember Stravens.
Present.
We have a quorum of members this evening, so at this time, I will continue from our regular meeting last week, the public hearing on the 2023 preliminary budget. So at this time, I would ask for the presentation of the 2023 budget from our treasurer, Deb Atkin.
Thank you. I apologize for missing last week's meeting. I had the stomach bug that seems to be going around the high schools. So thank you for coming tonight. I'm going to give you a brief 3-year snapshot of the budget. If you can roll the next one. So these would be your revenues. As you can see, they're fairly standard across the board, with the beginning balances increasing, which is what we want to see. Everything's pretty in line. You'll notice under intergovernmental revenues, we were at 800, then 400, then 3 million. That is the street projects. So those are the WASDOT grants and TIB grants that we've had in 2021 and hope to have next year. Everything else is pretty much in line as far as revenues go. Down at the transfers in, you'll see that $325,684. That is when we rolled the fiscal recovery funds into the general fund. So that's a transfer. And the 51.5 is the repayment of the loan. So if you'll go to expenditures, again, pretty much in line. You will see some increases this year, obviously, in transportation down there in the capital expenditures. Everything's just a bit higher because of inflation, the cost of fuel, benefits have gone up, L&I went up, everything's going up. But predominantly, we're staying in line, not a whole lot of difference. The transportation operating is a little higher. The middle column is, of course, our year-to-date. So, I think we'll be pretty much in line. But again, all of that due to cost increases. Interestingly, when I bring the amendment to you next month, you're going to see we're shifting a lot of the wages around from where we thought they were going to be. That's due to the actual timesheets that we have now. It was really interesting when I went to budget and started looking back through that information that we now have access to. Not spending the money where we thought we were. As far as wages go. I do want to bring up just quickly utilities. That's where that huge amount of money is coming from. A lot more money spent in water than we thought there was. However, I did do an evaluation of the rate like we promised to do every year now since we did the study. And we still are falling, our revenues are falling in line with our fixed and variable and capital costs. So we won't have to take an increase in water. We will have to take an increase in sewer due to the increase in treatment cost passed down by the county. It's quite a bit more money now, about $3,200 more a month than it was before. So about $350 per customer per month is the increase. If you go to the next slide, here are the capital projects that we're proposing. A lot of them on there are leftover from last year. They haven't been done. It's been an incredibly busy year. Nothing real crazy, except, of course, Argonne there, which is a biggie. Paul also would, well, he has it in there, but it's technically going to be Kyle, wants to get the grind and overlay done on South Riverway, down south of here from Euclid to South Riverway. I don't know if you've been down that way, but it's not real good. So it's pretty bumpy. If you'll go to the next slide, there are the utilities. Most of those are left over from either this year or prior years. They really tried to, Matt and Kyle tried to only do what was really necessary. So that's what we ended up with there. That's all I have for you tonight.
Do we have questions for Debbie at this time? I think it's important to remember that this is the preliminary budget. We will go back through. If council has questions or comments as you review this information, I would suggest just forwarding those questions or comments on to myself or Debbie, and we can address those in time for the next presentation at the next regular meeting. I'm
happy to take phone calls or sit down with any of you if you want more info.
So if there are no questions from the council, at this time, I would open it to public comment from individuals present in the audience. But first, I will ask our clerk, have we received any written comments or in-person comments? Delivered comments?
No, we have not.
So we have no written or delivered comments. We have one individual in the audience this evening, so I will make the call. First call for public comments. You can't say that. Second call for public comments.
I can say anything I want.
Third and final call for public comments. Seeing nobody approach the podium, I will close the public hearing at 6:08 p.m. And so at this time, there is no further action required by the council other than this preliminary presentation of the budget. So that would conclude our meeting, and I look to the council for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Now you can talk.
Now we can talk.